Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, in the last lecture we discussed and we solved rather solved example from the book of Python, and inshallah in today's lecture I have selected few unsolved problem. I think about 4 or 5 problems we will be solving inshallah in today's lecture, and we'll try to clarify the concepts of the torsion inshallah further in detail. So let's start. This is problem number 3.3. I've chosen this from the Python book. So as far as the description is concerned, this says that the torque of 100 kips fit produces a maximum shear stress of 8000 psi in the 16 feet long hollow steel shaft. So you should be expecting a hollow steel shaft, and this particular shaft is 16 feet long, and this torque of 100 kips produces a maximum shearing stress of 8000 psi. So note that the inner diameter of the shaft is 2/3 of its outer diameter. So the inner diameter is 2/3. So if the outer diameter is 3 inches, the inner diameter would be 2 inches. So that is another information that has been given to us. So this is the figure. So this end is fixed. The length is 16 feet. A torque, I think it's a counterclockwise torque of 100 kip fit is being applied at the free end. And the diameter, inner and outer diameter, has been given like this. If the outside diameter is D, so the inside diameter is 2/3 of the diameter. So what we need to find, we need to find out the outside diameter, because since it is unknown, the diameter is unknown, so we need to find the outside diameter. And once we will know the outside diameter, then with the help of this information that the inner diameter is the 2/3 of the diameter, we would be able to find out the inner diameter as well. And then in the B part, it's saying that we need to find the angle of twist of the shaft as well. Because of the applied torque, we need to find out the angle of twist as well. And the material used has the modulus of rigidity of 12 into 10 raised to the power 6 psi, and material used is the steel. So this is one of the simplest questions, so that's why I've chosen in the starting, and gradually inshallah we will be solving a little bit complicated problem. But as far as the level of difficulty is concerned, I personally feel that this torsion problem are rather very simple, because I tried to chose all those problems which gets a bit difficult as we move along. I think there are 33 or 34 problems in the book related to the torque. So I have seen all those problems. They are not all those difficult. Most of the problem has the same methodology as you have seen, that there is two formulas. One is the angle of twist, that theta is equal to TL upon GJ, and one is the maximum shearing stress, that is tau is equal to TR upon J. So there are only two formulas, and these 33 problems are based on these two formulas and on the single concept of the torsion. So I feel that these problems are not very much difficult. Once you have gone through all these 5 or 6 problems that we'll be solving today, I'm very much hopeful, I'm very much sure that you will be able to solve rest of the problems. So do attempt all those problems, the rest of the problem. If I have included 6, so you will have about 29 problems to practice. 29, 27, 26 problem to practice. So do practice all those problems. You have the solution manual as well. Just try to first see the solution yourself, and then in the second attempt try to solve it yourself by closed book without looking at the solution. By this method inshallah you will be able to have all your difficulties removed. So let's move to the solution. As for the solution is given, so as the process involved is we note down all the given data. So whatever is the given data is that this particular shaft is a hollow shaft. So I've tried to make it hollow. You can see it has an outside diameter and it has an inside diameter as well. So the inside diameter is 2/3 of the outside diameter, and the outside diameter is D. So that is the information given about whether the shaft is being hollow or solid. So the shaft is hollow and the inside diameter is 2/3 of the outside diameter. And we have been given the torque as 100 kip fit, and this is 100 kip fit. So maximum shearing stress is 8000 psi, the length is 16 feet, and the inside diameter, the smaller d denote the inside diameter and the larger d is the outside diameter. So inside diameter is 2/3 of the outside diameter. So as you know that this is the hollow shaft, so we need to find out the polar moment of inertia of a hollow shaft, and we know the formula for the polar moment of inertia is that pi upon 32 d4 minus d4, the capital D4 minus small d4. The capital D4 is the outside diameter and the small d is the inside diameter. So we have taken the d as common, because we know that d is 2/3 of d, capital D. So we can use this particular notation, that 1 minus 2/3, by taking the d as a common outside. So this comes out to be 7.87 into 10 raised power minus 2 d to the power 4. So we do not know the diameter, so we have calculated the polar moment of inertia in terms of the diameter. So next thing, we have been given these two information. We have been given this maximum shearing stress 8000 psi. We will see that whether this would be helpful or not. So putting this shearing stress formula in this format, that J is equal to TR upon tau. So we'll put the values of torque, which is 100 kPa. We'll put the value of radius, which is half of the diameter, and we know the maximum shearing stress is 8000 psi. So by this we will have a maximum diameter. So while you put in all these values, so you will see that I have put in all these values. The radius is half of the diameter. So with the help of this value, you will solve all these things. You will see that the value of d comes out to be 9.837 inches. So that's what we need. But I think he has given also the information as we need to find out the angle of twist as well. So we know up till this step, we know the outside diameter, and with the help of this outside diameter, we can find out the inside diameter as well, and that is 2/3 of this 9.87. You can very easily calculate that. And in the next step, inshallah, we will be finding out the angle of twist, and you know the angle of twist is theta is equal to TL upon GJ. So up till now, once we have found out the diameter, so we know the exact polar moment of inertia as well. So we can put in the formula of the theta is equal to TL upon J. So this is the formula. So putting in the values, tau is equal to 100 kPa. So multiplied by 10 to the power 3, make it in pounds feet. So into the 12, so that would be in inches. 16 by 12, so that length would be converted into inches. And this is, I think, the polar moment of inertia, and this is the modulus of rigidity. So by solving this, you will find out the angle of twist comes out to be 2.603 into 10 to the power minus 2 radians. And when you will convert this radian into the degrees, so you will have to multiply it with 1 pi upon 180. So you will get as 1.491 degrees. Okay, so that is I think it's a very simple question. So I don't think the concept involved in this particular problem is difficult by any mean. So let's move to the problem number 3.6. So I'm skipping as you can see that I think the first problem that I solved was 3.3, then I've skipped 3.4, 3.5. So I've tried to choose these problems on the basis of variation, not on the basis of difficulty, because I tried to choose them on the basis of the difficulty as well, but I really could not find any difficulty level in all those problems. The solution manual is given, the simple concepts are involved in those. So there are little variation as far as the involvement of those concepts is there in solution, in description of the problem. So the difficulty is not there, but the variation in application of the torque, and in finding out the angle of twist in composite, whether the shaft is composite or not, whether the composite shaft, both the shaft, if you are considering the shaft to be composite, whether both the shafts that are connected together, they are solid, or whether one of them is hollow. So I have tried to choose the problem in such a way so that the variation is there, but the difficulty, I could not find any difficulty in all these problems. So I hope when you will try to solve these problems yourself, you will find it not very difficult at all. So this is problem 3.6, and you can find this on page 86. I have given you the PDF of all those books as well. I have given you the PDF of the solution as well, so you can look for the solution. You can try to understand the solution yourself. You can try to solve it yourself, and still if you find it a few things difficult, so you can just ask question from me as well. So anyhow, so two forces in this particular problem, there are two forces, each of magnitude P. So far there is no torque, there are two forces, and both the forces are equal, are applied to the wrench. The diameter of the steel shaft AB is 15 millimeter. So this is the steel shaft, this AB is a steel shaft, and these two forces, this one is P, this one is P, and these two forces are equal but opposite in direction, and they are 300 millimeter apart. So when there are two forces which are equal and opposite and they are applied at a certain distance apart, then they will create a torque, they will create a couple. That's what you know. But if these two forces are equal or and opposite and their line of action is same, then they will not produce the torque. So that's what you need to keep in your mind. So for a couple, for a torque to be produced, two forces need to be equal, these two forces need to be opposite, and these two forces need to act with a certain distance. Their line of action cannot be same. Then and only then they will produce a couple. Okay, and then and only then these two couple forces, because I was watching a video lecture in which the lecturer was trying to say that when two forces are equal and opposite, they will produce a couple. Yes, they will produce a couple, but that couple will not produce a torque. For a couple to produce a torque, two forces need to act with a certain distance. If their line of action is the same, then they will not. These two forces are equal, these two forces are opposite, but they are not at a distance apart. And when they are not at a distance apart, they will not produce any sort of moment. As you can see in this particular problem, these two forces are equal, these two forces are opposite, these two forces are acting at a certain distance apart, and the distance between these two forces is 300 millimeter. So in this case, these two forces will create a moment. And what will be the magnitude of the moment? This P times 300 millimeter. So 300 millimeter is 0.3 meters. So 0.3 P is the amount of torque that this particular force will produce, and the direction of this torque would be clockwise. So we are saying that the clockwise torque is negative, is positive. I think no, whatever you are saying, I think the clockwise torque we are taking as negative, I think, and the counterclockwise torque we were taking as positive. So these two forces will create a negative torque at the free end B, and because of this torque, let's see what is he asking us to find out. So the diameter of this steel shaft is 15 millimeters. It's only 15 millimeter dia, and the length of this is 500 millimeters. So this is half meter. This shaft is the length of this shaft is half meter, and the diameter of this shaft is 15 millimeter. And we need to determine the largest allowable value of P. So we need to find out the maximum magnitude of P if the shearing stress is not to exceed 120 megapascal. So the maximum shearing stress, allowable shearing stress, has been specified to you. On the basis of this specification, you need to find out the maximum value of P. So it's a very simple question, and another thing that has been specified as well is the angle of twist is also limited to 5 degrees. So you will have to satisfy two conditions. One is the maximum shearing stress. So you will have to establish the value of P that will not exceed the shearing stress above 120 megapascal, and at the same time you will have to find out the value of P that would not exceed the angle of twist greater than 5 degrees. So we will see that we will have two values of P, and we will see that which value of P will specify, so that that particular value of P would satisfy both the condition, that it will not exceed the 120 megapascal shearing stress, and at the same time it will not exceed the angle of twist 5 degrees. So another very easy question. And the G has also been specified. It's 80 gigapascal, and the material is steel. So the given information is the diameter of the steel shaft is 15 millimeter. The maximum shearing stress has been specified is 120 megapascal. The modulus of rigidity has also been specified is 80 gigapascal, and the maximum angle of twist is 5 degrees. So keep this in your mind that we'll have to convert this degree into radian, because only then we can use the value of theta in radian. Otherwise we cannot use the value of theta in degrees. So we'll have to convert the theta degrees into radians. So as you know that from the given information, the two parameter has been specified. So we will see that when the stress govern mean when you want to the value of P that should not exceed the shearing stress greater than above 120 megapascal. So first thing that we are trying to specify is the maximum shearing stress. So when the stress govern, the formula that has been given to us is, we already know that this is the formula, and this formula has been I think you can calculate this formula with the help of tau is equal to TR upon J. As since we know that this is a solid shaft, so we know the value of J is pi by 32 upon D4, and we know the value of R is D by 2, so you can put in all those things. So if you do not know, sir, I can do it for you as well. because I think हमने इसमें किया था जब when we were trying to solve this thing, तो we know the tau is equal to TR upon J. So from this we know कि R is equal to D by 2 and we know कि J is equal to pi by 32 D to the power 4. So putting in this T into, let me use the small d, pi by 32 D to the power 4. So what will this do? This 2 times this would be 16 and this 16 will come on top, so that will be 16t. Okay, this d will cancel out this one and you will be left with q, so you will be left with pi dq. So that is how you can find out this particular formula from this, by putting in the values of the polar moment of inertia and the value of the radius. In the same way you can find out the value of the maximum shearing stress for the hollow shaft as well. Then you will have to specify the inner and the outside diameter as well. So anyhow, that was a simple calculation. So with the help of this, we know the maximum shearing stress is 120 into 10 to the power 6, because this is megapascal, so mega means 10 to the power 6. 16 T is 0.3 because the force, since you know that the force was applied like in this direction. So this is P and the inner distance was 0.3. So 0.3 times P would be the amount of torque, and then pi, and this diameter is 15 millimeter. You have this 15 millimeter, and when you convert into the meter, that would be 0.015. So when you will solve all these things, you will get the value of P as 265 Newton. But that value of P is not sufficient, because we do not know whether this value of P would limit the angle of twist to be 5 degrees or not. So we'll see that how much force we need to apply to limit this angle of twist to be within the 5 degrees. So this particular step involves when the stress governs. So we'll see in the next step when twisting governs. So as far as the twisting formula is concerned, we know the angle of twist is equal to TL upon GJ. So TL upon G, and this J is pi d4 upon 32, right? So this 5 multiplied by pi upon 180, that converts the degrees into the radian, and then putting in all the values. This is, I think, the length. This is half meter length, 0.3 P is the torque, and this G is 18 to 10 to the power 6, and diameter is 15. You put in all these values, you will see that value of P is 231 Newton. So if you exceed the P, let's suppose if you are applying a force of P is equal to 232 Newton, so that would exceed the angle of twist. So we will see that what was the value of P when the stress governed. So that was 265. So if you are applying as a P of 265, that will exceed the angle of twist. So you will have to limit your P to 231. So if you apply a force P less than 265, you would be safe when the stresses are governed, when the stress governed. So in both the case, we can conclude that the value of P, if you set the value of P as 231 Newton, you would be safe as far as the shearing stress is concerned and as far as the angle of twist is concerned. In both the case, you would be safe. So the maximum allowable force P is 231 Newton, governed by the angle of twist. So the angle of twist force would govern, and you will have to leave the 265 Newton force. But that would be safe. If you apply a force of 231 Newton, you would be safe in the maximum shearing stress as well. Okay. So this was a bit different question from the first one. I don't think it's difficult at all. The same formulas have been used in this particular problem as well, but the only variation is the strength and the rigidity both were being involved in these things, in this question. So the next question is, this is problem 3.8, and you can find this problem on the page 87 of the second edition of the Pytel book, and the problem states the steel shaft is formed by attaching a hollow shaft to a solid shaft. You can see, you can understand by reading the description that this is a composite shaft, and there is a hollow shaft and there is a solid shaft. So there are two shafts, one is a solid, one is a hollow, and these two shafts are connected together to make it a composite shaft. And we'll see what type of torque have been applied on this. So I think this one is the hollow, this is the hollow shaft, and this one is the solid. As you can see, the dotted line, dashed line has been given to you. So this shows that the outside diameter is also been given 100 millimeter, and the inside diameter is also been given as the 70 millimeter. And this is the solid shaft of 70 millimeter, and this has been connected with the help of board or whatever, जिससे भी इसको इस्तेमाल किया गया, composite बना दिया गया. And the length of this hollow shaft is, hollow segment is 2 meter, and the length of the solid segment is 1.5 meter. So this is the information given with the help of the figure and with the help of the description. And then we have been asked to determine the maximum torque T. We need to find out this torque T, how much this torque should be, because these two torques need to be equal, otherwise this will start rotating. End of the shaft without exceeding a shear stress of 70 megapascal. So shear stress has been limited to 70 megapascal, and angle of twist has been limited to 2.5 degree in the 3.5 meter length. So for a length of 3.5 meter, the angle of twist should be 2.5 degree. It's not been given कि भाई 2 मीटर के लिए angle of twist ये है या 1.5 मीटर के लिए है. या तो total length of this particular composite shaft is 3.5 meters. So not for 3.5 meter, yes, for the 3.5 meters. So for the whole length of this shaft, composite shaft, the angle of twist to be 2.5 degree. Okay, so let's move to the solution. So as far as the polar moment of inertia of the hollow shaft is concerned, we know that this is the formula, and when you put in the values, the 100 millimeter and the 70 millimeter, and you will get this polar moment of inertia for hollow shaft. And as far as the solid shaft is concerned, we know that this is the formula, because it's not hollow, so this thing would not be there in this particular formula. And we find out that the solid polar moment of inertia that turns out to be this much. Okay, so we'll see कि भाई hollow shaft के अंदर maximum shearing stress कितने torque अगर हम लगा रहे हैं, तो how much is the torque produced in the hollow shaft. So this is the shearing stress specified, 70 J we have found out in this first step, and the radius we know कि भाई it is 0.05. Okay, so because this is 100 millimeter, so radius would be half of that. So the torque turns out to be 10.44 into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton meter. So this is the amount of torque that can be applied on a hollow shaft to limit the maximum shearing stress within the range of 70 megapascal. So we'll see कि भैया हम जब solid shaft के ऊपर लगाएंगे तो वहाँ हमें torque कितना लगाना होगा. So for the solid shaft, the torque you can apply is 4.714 into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton meter. So in the last, so that was 10.44. यहाँ लिख देते हैं 10.44. So 10.44 into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton meter torque. You were allowed to apply that much amount magnitude of the torque when the shaft was hollow, and when the solid shaft you could apply a torque of 4.714. You can see that there is no involvement of the length. The only thing that changed here is this polar moment of inertia and the radius, of course. So the amount of torque has been reduced, I think, less than the 50%. So you can see the hollow shaft are much more economical in resisting the torque. So the angle of twist, for the angle of twist is limited to 2.5 degree for a length of 3.5 meters. So converting this degree into radian turns out to be this thing. So you can do the calculation. So theta, as you know that there is a composite shaft. So T and G are the same. T and G are the same, and the only thing that varies is the length and the polar moment of inertia. So we'll sum these, because the total torque from A to B would be the summation of the torque of the hollow and of the solid shaft. So we'll see, जिस तरीके से हमने पहले भी किया है ना कि कंपोजिट में ले रहे थे तो A से लेके D तक का, तो अगर आपने एग्जांपल देखी होंगी तो from A to D we calculated from A to D, and then we say कि theta AB, theta BC and theta CD. So in this case there are two shafts, two segments, one is the hollow, one is the segment. So theta of the hollow and theta of the segment, theta of the solid. So we'll see कि किस तरीके से कर रहा है. So this is the angle of twist, and this is the torque that we don't know right now, because angle of twist के लिए that's what we are trying to calculate कि what amount of torque we can apply to limit the angle of twist to be 2.5 degree on a length of 3.5 meter, and G was already given to us. So length 2 meter I think for the hollow segment and 1.5 meter for the this solid segment. So putting in all the values, you will get a torque of 4 into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton meter. So you have three values of torque. One is this one, the other is this one, and the third one is this one. So if you apply a torque of 10.44 Newton into 10 raised to the power 3 Newton meter, you would be safe for a hollow shaft. But you would not be safe. The maximum shearing stress would exceed in the solid shaft. The angle of twist would exceed in the composite, in the whole assembly. So by comparing these three, you can see that this is the torque that you can apply to satisfy all three conditions. Though the conditions there are only two conditions are there, but the third condition, the difference between solid and hollow, उसकी वजह से हमने तीन करें. So there are three conditions altogether. So if you apply a torque of 4 kilonewton meter, so let me call this as a kilo. So you can say this is 4 kilonewton meter. So if you apply a torque of 4 kilonewton meter, so you would be safe for the angle of twist, you would be safe for the solid shaft, and you would be safe for the hollow shaft as well. So comparing all three values, the maximum shearing resistance turned out to be 4 kilonewton meter. Okay, so I hope कि यहाँ तक चीज़ समझ में आई है. So we will take a short break, वाटर ब्रेक हम करते हैं, and then we will see कि इसको फिर हम कंटिन्यू